everybody, welcome to another episode of Adventures Advanced Minecraft. I'm here with Cindy Mae and Leonard Skinnerd.
Hey.
Hey.
And today, instead of us going through the rest of the Hollow Hill, because basically the majority of it was covered, I'm actually going to cover with you guys the next step for the Thaumcraft pieces that'll really make your life a lot easier. And that is going to be the Alembic. I'm going to go up here, I'm going to show you guys the setup that I have so far. And I'll show you guys in the book how to make each of these. But basically, the way the setup works is you have your alchemical furnace and 4 alembics stacked up on top of each other against the wall, as you see here, and we'll have it stretch out about 4 blocks wide, and that'll be for the poles and the jars that we're going to have. Now, to make the alchemical furnace, first of all, you want to get into your Thaumcraft and go into the tab that says Alchemy. It has a little pot with some bubbles in it. You'll look for the one that's got the little what is this? The arcane alembic on it, the little jar with the triangle sticking at the bottom, it's like legs. You click on that and it'll tell you how to make each individual piece. So we have the alchemical furnace will require a crucible, furnace, and about 7 arcane stone blocks. The very bottom of it will show you different elements and a number beside it. That's the number of elements required in your wand to actually use it. So in this case, you need to have 5 fire elements in your wand and 5 water elements to make your alchemical furnace. And then the next pages will show you some little pieces that you'll have to use to make, like to make the alembic and other pieces like that. They show you everything on how to do that. So for your vis filter, it'll be 2 gold ingots and a silverwood plank in the middle, all in the same row. It gives you 2 for each one. Requires ordo and water. And then let's see, where's that? Oh, if I can click it, it'd be really, really helpful. If you do the arcane alembic, you only need 1 of those vis filters, a bucket, 5 iron ingots, and 1 gold ingot, and it shows that everything's set up appropriately, as well as your air and aqua elements for your wand. The alchemical construct is actually for something that's not exactly directly related to what we're doing here, and I will show you that one later on. That's for the automated alchemy piece, which, like I said, there's a whole other setup for that. But what I'm going to show you guys how to do is how to work the alembic. And for us to work with the alembic, you're going to need what they call essential tubes. The tubes are the pieces that will be transporting any items that you cook into warded jars. To make the pipes, all you need to do is have like 1 quicksilver drop on the top row. In the middle row, you want to have 2 iron ingots and a glass block in between, in the middle row all together. And then at the very bottom in the middle, you want to have a gold nugget. I have 8 of these because each of these will require 2 sets of pipes, because you get 8 per one that you make. So I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to have all of these, but I'm going to at least make 2. And you'll notice also that the number here is not 5 anymore for these, for what's required for the essence. The reason why is because the different wands that you have will reduce the cost of how much everything is gonna, to make everything. So in this case, it's gonna be cost 95% of the cost instead of the full 100. So instead of having 5, you have 4 1/4 or 4 3/4. So that's why the number's less. And I'm not gonna do all of it now because, like I said, there's a lot that it costs to get this done, and I don't want to use up all the water because we'll have it for something else. Alright, essential tubes. Let's go upstairs. And the essential tube part is actually pretty easy. This is actually one that can be really fun or really confusing depending on how you go about it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to lay these all out and I'm going to connect them, and I'll explain here in a second why this isn't going to work right at the very, very beginning. Okay, as you can see, all these pipes are connected all together, which means that if I were to put a jar right down here at the very bottom of these parts and I were to cook something, you really wouldn't know which one it goes into, because it kind of plays a chutes and ladder kind of thing where it kind of goes either up and down into random ones, and it could land on any of the 4 jars at the very bottom that you would have. So what you do to actually remedy this situation, and I left my wand downstairs, yay me, the most organized person in the game, I'm telling you that right now. Where'd you go? Stop, there you go. Alright, what you'll need is your wand, and the only thing that serves for this case for the wand is simply to actually arrange your pipes. So if you want to cut off a connection between 2 pipe areas, like for instance these 2 yellow squares here, I want to take off this this tube in the middle that's connecting them. All you have to do is right click on it and it disappears. And so what you'll want to do with this one is you want to have this to where each pathway from the alembics go down to their own individual spot here at the very bottom where you're going to have your warding jars. Alright, so in this case I'm going to cut off a few of these as we go to kind of show you guys just exactly what you will want to do here. Let's see, we cut this one off there, there, and there, and then there, there, and there. and right there. Now, as you can see here, this one only has one alone. That's because there's going to be an alembic that's gonna, or a warding jar that's going to go right here in front of it. You see these. You see the second row one goes over to the one over the right one and down. The third one goes right 2 and down 2, and the top one goes right 3 and down 3. What that does, it gives it they're each their own individual pathways that go from the beginning of it to the jars that you have. Now I'm going to get a warding jar. I'm going to make a few warding jars here that we're going to be able to use to get all of these made. And Cynthia, we'll be using up your entire water essence in this wand, just so you know.
That's fine. I'm filling up the one you gave me, so.
Because I am making a stack of jars. So warding jars are very simple. It's a slab in the very middle, and then every other block except for the very center block needs to have glass panes. Don't do glass blocks. It does not work. It'll look at you like you're crazy, which it has done it to me. And so when I get it does. It'll be like, what are you doing? It's like, I don't know. I'm just trying to make something. Give me a break here. All right. But like I said, you have all this in there. I'm going to make as many as I can, and it's going to give me how many? As soon as it decides to, there we go. Oh, it's going to give me a full stack. Nice. We barely even like scratched. Oh, no, never mind. Take that back. Okay. You got down to 22, and you only have 0.6 water in your your deal here. So, but it gives me 42 warding jars, and the warding jars do have a lot of different abilities. I just don't use all of them because I don't find it necessary, just because of what I'm using them for. But as you can see now with the warding jars, you can see now that they connect to individual spots here. And this is good because if you have elements that you put in here that have multiple types, like for instance, the crafting table, I believe, the regular one has about 4 different essences. Why can't I not see there? Okay, here we go. If I were to throw my Thaumcraft in there, you can see that there's 4 different essences that are used in making, or in the chemistry, for lack of better terms, of the item. It's got 8 Cognito, 4 Arbor, 2 Panis, which is the cloth, and 2 my gosh, I can't ever get it right. Permutatio, which is the magic essence, essentially. If I were to put that into this and cook it, it would have 4 different essences that would go through these these alembics, down the pipes and into these jars. So what I'm going to do, actually, since I happen to have an extra one of these Thaumcrafts, I'm going to throw it in here so you can see it. All right, so you can see it's going to cook here. The bigger the bigger the item that you put in here, the longer it'll take to cook. The quickest one that I know you can cook in here is the flint, because it gives you the tool essence and earth, and so it's very quick. You'll see that there'll be some smoke that that kind of goes in here. It just shows you which elements are going through. But as you can see here, okay, so it's not all of it. It's working exactly how I thought it would. The arbor still went down to the bottom instead of going to the top. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch these jars out. That's one thing about this place you have to kind of anticipate is being flexible, because sometimes not everything goes according to plan. In this case, it is definitely not going to plan because the permutation moved up at the end. Cindy, it's your fault. I used your wand.
Hey, you should have known better. You should have known. It will be topsy-turvy.
It is not always successful for me. But as you can see here, though, all 4 elements are in their each respective jars, and like I said, I'm wearing my goggles of revealing. I can't English today, you guys. I don't know what's up with this. I just can't English today. But I'm using my goggles of revealing so you can see which elements are in there. If you don't have the goggles of revealing, you can always use your thermometer. So if I take this off, put this in my hand, you can. Oh, actually, it doesn't show it on there. I take that back. If you look at it, you can look at the very top. You'll have your the NEI display that they have at the top. I think it's the Wayla, that's what they call it, and it'll tell you which aspects are in the jars. So in this case, there's Arbor, Precontatio, Cognito, and Panis. So it does show them all, but it's just a lot easier if you have the goggles, because if you go with pictures like me, it's a lot easier to find them. And trust me, when you're going through about 50 different jars of items, need to make a day?
I got it.
Please.
Okay.
I got it.
All right. But like if you but it makes it a lot easier for you to find it. But yeah, so this is how it works. The jars for me, I'm gonna have these in a different area, and I'm actually gonna go ahead and show it to you because I'm also gonna show you what's gonna be in the next time I go through the Thaumcraft area. I'm gonna show you guys what we're gonna be going through. It won't be immediately, I will say that much, because we do have a couple other things that we want to cover first. So go down here real quick, because I have to go down here to get to where we have this on. Now, this area here is going to be where we're going to have our infusion altar. As I said, there will be more information about this. I just want to, show you guys kind of what it is that we'll be looking at. But the jars, when we have them, we'll be placing them. Now, are we okay? Just to clarify, we're putting the jars on top of and below the obsidian bricks we have in here, right? So we can fill them up easier.
Sure.
That's the "it's been a while, I don't remember" expression. I recognize that one.
It's going to be whatever you want to do.
Yeah, we're probably going to do that because it'll be a lot easier than trying to make signs on the top and bottom like we tried to do before.
Oh, yeah. That's what we're doing.
So what we'll do is we'll have them set like that so that we'll be able to use these for the infusion altar A. And then with this elevator block being here, we can actually go along the outside here, and we can put the jars in their each respective spots, so that we can actually be able to use them in the infusion altar. But like I said, all of that for the infusion altar will be covered in a later portion because there's a lot to it that I have to explain, and it's a whole nother 30-minute episode, basically. But there are some other things you can do with the Alembic. Like I said, if you take a look at your thermometer your Thaumcraft, looking at your thermometer will not answer any questions that you have. I can promise you that.
Tell you if it's hot or cold.
It will tell you what it's made of, and that's about it. It's like Einstein. Oh, it's made out of fire. Maybe a little bit of magic. But the Thaumcraft will be the thing that will be able to tell you what all the different things can do. Like I said, the centrifuge stuff I'm going to cover later on also, because there's something else you can use that for. That one will save you having to use a cauldron. But like I said, that's for a later time. So yeah, I believe that's going to cover everything. Don't think I missed anything. Any input from y'all over there?
Nope, I can't.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
They're all working on the house. Well, one of them is. One of them is exploring. One of them is working on the house.
Making walls.
Looking for George.
Yes, the illustrious George. And I didn't get a chance to explain that one. Okay, to explain the whole thing about George, the hardest thing ever since we started this mod pack, and I'll make this really short, is that we can never find a jungle biome. You get on vanilla and it's everywhere. You get on, a smaller mod pack from FTB or Technic or whatever, and they're everywhere. You get on this mod pack or even some of the other ones, and you cannot find them anywhere. I mean, like the last time, before we actually played this one, it took us like a month to find it.
Oh yeah.
Like it was yeah. So we call it, but the reason why we call it George is based off the movie George of the Jungle, in case anybody was wondering. So that's why we call it George. It's very illustrious and hard to find.
I think the dog just found it.
I think the dog is agreeing with me. That or he found it, one of the two. Alright, but we are going to call it there. We'll see you guys in the next episode. We have a lot of stuff that's going to be actually going really well. It's going to be kind of fun. I'm kind of excited for what we're going to do next. So we will see you guys in the next episode.
Bye.
Bye.